I am in search of something this year. Something better. From pens to knockoffs to Sharpies to more Sharpies and to traditional. This medium has always been done in black, and your mistakes are permanent. Or are they? Throughout this month, I will be testing the 4 best white inks out there, putting them through their own rigorous tests, as I want to find out which of these is the best white ink of them all. Let the best ink win.
Today's a special video because we will not only be completing our look at the 4 contenders for my white ink search, but we're also going to be looking at what is considered to be the king of white inks, the one, the only Uniball Signo white gel pen, UM153. Real quick before we get on to an in-depth analysis of this pen, one thing I do want to talk about real quick is that last week's video I actually went over the piece I did with the bleed proof white ink. Took some time, but I did it. Really like how it came out, and this will be the version that is available for sale on my ArtStation account, again, just for $1. The design of the pen's really nice, very simple, and one thing I like is the feel of the plastic. It's not cheap at all. It feels very nice to hold. It has a very satisfying click. And then one also nice little detail I like is it's clear, so you could see how much ink you have, which was my main complaint with Posca pens because it's a guessing game. But I really like this, and it just unclicks super easily. Now you guys know I'm not a fan of gel pens, you know. I like them to an extent really when it comes to calligraphy and taking notes in school, but this is one I have used for a while. Now you can get them for about $5 for a pack of 4. It's not bad at all, in my opinion, especially with the quality and considering, again, these for the longest time have been considered the kings of the white gel pens. So let's put that to the test. Here we have my Batman sketchbook. Let's turn to a page. I already got it all set up for us. We have our normal contenders, the Sharpie King, Sharpie Chiseled, Sharpie Pen, Sharpie Paint, Liquid Magic, which you can get at Dollar Tree, the Master Micros, and the Pigma. So let's break this open. And we're not going to cover the whole thing because it's a gel pen. So let's just go down. There we go. Again, it's a gel pen, so it's really, really smooth. One thing I will say, because you could draw just a normal line, but one thing I have noticed using these in the past is when you put them down, you really want to wait for that area to dry before you hit it again because it's actually going to smudge a lot of what you're doing. Also, coloring. That's something I have noticed that is a problem because when you color, it's going to be a lot lighter, so you really got to be careful where you put that. But if you are actually just making copies and going through the normal comic book or artwork process, that's really not a big deal. You know, I do things a little differently sometimes because that's just how I roll. We're almost done. The top one, gonna need a little bit of TLC. I think it's dry, so I might be able to put a little bit more in. So let's review what we got. So first off, the Sharpie King, almost completely covered, which is awesome. The Sharpie Chisel's actually kind of showing a little bit, though I personally think maybe a second layer will do. I'm actually going to put this one a little heavier and we'll come back to it. On camera, doesn't look that bad, so that's good. So on camera it looks pretty good. There we go. The Sharpie Pen, almost completely covered. Same thing with Sharpie Paint, just a little bit showing. On camera you can't really tell at all. The Liquid Magic, interestingly, it looks almost dissolved. The Master ones, I do believe, are water-based, and they're not great. There's no bleeding or rehydrating it, so that's good. And it's almost completely covered it. There's a little bit showing. On camera, it's not too bad. It's not bad. Definitely wait for it to dry, and a second coat would do. And then Pigma, almost completely covered. If I put a second coat, it's gone. So that's really, really nice, actually. And again, you're seeing what I mean. How when I went over to touch it up, I actually am exposing more just because it's, for some reason, spreading it around. So I kind of need to... One limitation I do not like about this is that you really can't do second layers. You have to wait and really wait for it to dry and then do a second layer. I personally do not like that, but the ease of the fact that you just grab it, unhinge, put back, and then you just start working, I like that. Very easy, very simple to use. There's no pumping, no shaking, there's no breaking out different tools like a paintbrush or a dip pen. You know, you have options with the other inks, and they are required because they're in a bottle, or they need to be shaken, or they need to be like pumped. But here, you don't need that because it's a normal pen, and I really like that. It's very smooth, very clear, and I like how you can just draw like with a pen. I like that. We're gonna close this book, and we're gonna break out our next test, the black paper. And let's give it a test. I actually have not tested this yet, despite all the time I've had this. All right, it's actually not bad at all. If you know what you're doing, you can actually get good areas of just white. Very little is actually bleeding through. However, I am noticing, just because of the nature of the gel pen and what I wanted before, a little bit will always show of the black. On camera, it's not too bad. In real life, you can see it. But when it comes to like just a straight line, for the most part, it's pretty much perfect. I'm noticing that sometimes I'm getting a streak of black in there, but I'm okay with that. You know, it's doing really well for the convenience. And that's one thing I want to say, the convenience of this pen, you just grab and just use. I'm okay with that. I'm going to try some cross hatching, see how that works. Oh, that's nice. Overall, because I have used this before, and I am going to actually make a piece of artwork for this video. It's kind of the theme, the motif of this series is, I can just say right now, this is probably A level. This is number 1. On a scale of 1 to 4, this is number 1. And in fact, I would actually say, out of using everything, these two, I'm actually going to move this guy from 2 to 1. Now, the reason this guy's number 1 is because of its convenience. You can crosshatch with it. There we go. You can crosshatch with it. You just pick up and go. Sometimes if it gets a little stuck, just move it down and boom, you're done. Now, it has limitations because it's a gel pen that it can be worked around. Like, you're not going to try and fill a whole area with this. So if you use it for like the outline and the detail, I think that works really well. And again, it is convenient. You're not breaking out separate tools to use it. You're not breaking out a paintbrush. You're not breaking out a nib, you know, a fountain pen. I'm sorry, a dip pen. You are just using the tool itself, which is awesome. Now, with everything said, I am still going to create an original piece of artwork for this video, despite the fact that I've used this a ton in the past. And that original piece will be this. This is a piece of my original character. His name is Wrath. He's a Venom-inspired character. In fact, I drew him as my Venomsona, and I will be spinning him off as his own character. Really like this piece. It was very simple to do, just kind of a fun little profile pic. And we're just going to have fun drawing this in. So let's get started. So here's the finished piece. This is of my original character Raph. I really like how it came out, and I know it's not finished. I actually do not have enough time to sit down and dedicate to covering the whole area, filling it in with this pen. I will actually be using a combination of India white ink and the bleed proof white ink to finish it. Putting the piece aside, the Uniball Signo white gel pen, it's the king. I already said it's #1, it's still #1. Shocker, considering this is the one everyone says is #1. This is the one that everyone loves. This is the one that I've used for the most, actually, and I've used it for a while. With that said, there are some problems. One, filling in areas. If you have the patience to do it, it can be done. And it looks good on camera, which is good for me. But some people want to look good in person. Some people don't have time. So I would say that for line work, definitely this dude. And for some big areas, if you got the patience, some bleed proof white ink, because this is really, really rich. Not the smoothest ink, but very rich. And it really does a good job filling in those areas and really getting rid of anything that's underneath it. It is absolutely amazing. But at the end of the day, there's a reason why this is the king. And you know what? It still stands on its throne. However, we are going to take a little detour in our look at these gel pens. We're actually going to look at a different gel pen on the opposite end of the spectrum, a black gel pen. Because I think that we can wrap up this month, because I did propose the question of, can we find the ultimate, or can we build the ultimate white gel pen? And I think we can. I truly do think we can. Because, well, watch the video for this one and see if you can put the pieces together, because I have an evil plan. I have not fully realized the plan, but I think it's doable, because the search for the ultimate one, for some ends, but for others who go further beyond, it still continues. Stay tuned.